My name is John Hewer. I live in Chapel Hill. I'm the chairman of North Carolina Peace Action and a member of Veterans for Peace. It's my pleasure that on this week, which honors one of our greatest American heroes, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I announce the launch of a coalition of more than 30 peace, justice, and community organizations who are coming together to raise their grievances and protest at the Democratic National Convention in Charlotte in September of this year.
Today, I would like to bring everyone's attention and memory back to 1967 in a place not far from here, where Dr. Martin Luther King spoke at a retreat for the afl-cio, and he talked about a poor people's campaign. It was what he called the second phase of the civil rights movement. It was meant to be an occupation started in our nation's capital and spread throughout this great land to demand justice, economic equality, and liberty for all Americans. Through nonviolent direct action to bring people of all races, economic and social strata, political and religious affiliations together for meaningful change. The plan was to protest and occupy the public spaces to those places that had the power to make that change and not to waver or to go anywhere till that change came through. We ask you to stand with us across this land, and particularly here in Charlotte with the coming of the Democratic National Convention.
The NLG is a progressive bar association founded in 1937. Its members have been at the forefront of defending fundamental First Amendment rights since the Civil Rights era, through litigation and a national legal observer program that sends trained monitors to public assemblies when a large police presence is expected. All eyes will be watching to see how the city of Charlotte handles its many responsibilities as host of the DNC this September. The city is charged with ensuring the safety and welfare of its citizens and visitors. At the same time, the city is also charged with protecting the ability of those who want to make their voices heard on this monumental occasion to exercise their constitutional rights of freedom of speech and assembly. The entire nation has seen renewed energy and excitement over political protest and activism in recent months. In direct response to these political protests, many cities have attempted to enforce bans on camping and other measures clearly designed to restrict the First Amendment rights of protesters.
I bring you greetings from the working people of the South Carolina afl-cio and from occupiers in South Carolina, where we just were with the occupiers of Myrtle Beach protesting at the Republican debate. So I'm here today to add my voice to others who are speaking out on the continued display of corporate abuse and greed that has corrupted our nation and seeped into the core of our politics. Charlotte represents the second largest concentration of finance in the United States, located in the deep South of historical struggles for civil rights, civil, human, immigrant, and workers' rights. In North Carolina, like other southern states, continues the competition to underbid other southern states to attract corporations that locate in the South for lower wages and the exploitation of the workers. It has become the accepted norm by the elitist capitalists that comprise the nation's 1% to ignore the plight of thousands of unemployed workers forced to accept lower paying jobs and government services to support their families. Elected officials of both major parties have followed the practices of the corporate world in their bid to protect the rich and deny the working families of our country. As we approach the Democratic National Convention to be held in Charlotte in September, we encourage you to join us and speak out against the corporate raids of our tax dollars to support the wealthiest citizens of our nation.
We are pleased to be a part of this campaign to challenge the hypocrisy of U.S. corporate political parties. We are here to demand an end to the war on Black people here in the United States and in Africa. From police brutality on the streets and mass incarceration to AFRICOM and proxy wars across the continent of Africa.
This coalition is made up of many different groups, but those groups are made up of individuals. Individuals who each and every day wake up and make the conscious effort to go out and change their world. Individuals who wake up and decide, today I'm going to speak out, today I'm going to fight, today I might even get arrested if that's what's called for.
That's right.
Charlotte was chosen as the place of the DNC this year because it's a vibrant city, a diverse city, and a city that they believe will roll over and let them come through and will not protest, will not raise a fuss. We're here to show them that as they are planning the DNC, we are planning for them. We are here making sure that our voices will be heard, that no matter what ordinances may be passed, that the people will not be silenced in this time of greatest struggle.
We're requesting a moratorium on all foreclosures and evictions. Not just in the state of North Carolina, but around the nation.
We will be working in the next few months to bring as many students and youth to protest the DNC. As youth, we feel excluded, ignored, and attacked by the current political system. We find our prospects of a dignified livelihood diminished by those in power as they take decisions that affect our present and futures without even intending to include us in the process. The working class youth of this country find their prospects of attending higher education diminished as tuition reaches an all-time high. Unemployment rates are soaring and those jobs available fail to provide us the living wages our parents once enjoyed. Not only this, if we are able to attend college, we find ourselves drowned in piles of debt that we will have to pay for the next 2 decades. The money for affordable education exists. It is just being spent on wars that we should not be fighting in the first place. More than 50% of the discretionary budget spending last year was allocated to defense. This is an insult to the youth of this country, many of whom have to work 2 jobs to put themselves through college and amass huge piles of debt. The problem is that the interest of the rich and the ruling class is more important to politicians than those of the people. We are rising up because we have the right for a dignified life, because we refuse to be the lost generation of jobless, uneducated people. We are rising up because this decadent 2-party system has failed us to meet our needs and has failed us. By demonstrating here, we are taking back power. Power to the people.